Hello dear students. After the money concept, second concept regarding the chapter number 5 is banking. Okay. So as you know, banking is a very essential part of our nowadays, we can say very essential part of our lives. Okay. Without banking or without bank, we cannot assume nowadays our life, because all the works regarding, we can say regarding purchasing any product, regarding, we can say investment in the other sectors, regarding the bill payment, all the works nowadays, all the works are doing by the bank. Okay, so bank is an essential part of our business life and also our personal life. So banking is a one type of, we can say, factor. And what are the, we can say, roles of function of the banking? So you should learn in this video lecture regarding the all things, what are the function will play by the bank. Okay, so let's see. First one, what is the definition and the meaning of the bank? So banking can be defined as the business activity of accepted and the safeguard money owned by the other individuals and the entity. So and then lending out this money in order to earn the profit. What is the role of banking? Banking can get the money from the depositors and lend the money to the lenders. Okay, so there are the marginal rate is considered between them. So bank can deposit, bank can receive the deposit, like example, if the 6% and gave the money as a loan to the lender at the 12%. So the difference between the lending and the depositing rate, there are the 6%. It's a one type of, we can say, income of the business, right? So it's a very we can say is a one type of business is considered by the bank. So they have to be given the security and the assurity to the depositor that they can secure their money at their money are secure at bank. And they have to be given the assurity to lender that they have to given the amount whenever they have to be a need. Okay, so it's a one type of function is to be considered by the bank. So meaning of banking means a transacting business with a bank, depositing or the withdrawing fund or the request or loan, etc. So it's a one type of, we can say, one type of mid factor, we can say, considered by the bank. It's a one type of medium between the depositor, then bank, and then the last one is the lender. So it's a one type of mediator between the depositor and the lender. Then what is the history of the bank? The history of banking refers to the development of banks and the banking through the history. With the banking is defined by the contemporary, we can say, sources. The history begins with the first prototypes. Is bank is a merchant of the ancient world. Before, we can say, there are the various, we can say, we cannot assume that without nowadays, in the modern days, we cannot assume our life without bank. But we can say in the tradition time, there are the bank concept is not available at that time. They have to be get the money from the, we can say, there are the landlords, there are the hawkers, and from that they have to be consider the money, and they have to be given the higher rate amount to them. And there are the poor peoples, and poor people cannot have to be idea to how to calculate the interest rate, and sometimes they have to be doing the exploitation for this poor peoples, right? So what are the functions of a bank? So there are the mainly two functions of bank, primary function and secondary function. So let's see, first functions are the primary functions. The main functions of bank, there are the accepting deposit and the lending loans. So there are the main primary function of the business on all over the banks. So first one is the accepting deposit. In which way they have to be accepting this type of deposits? First one, there are the fixed deposits. Sometimes you have to listen from your parents that FD, right? So FD means fixed deposit. This deposit is mature after the considerable long period of time, like 1 year or more than 1 year, and there are the interest rate is fixed. So there are the not any fluctuation rate in this type of fixed deposit, or you cannot withdraw the money without the maturity time. So here nowadays there are the 6% rate is given to the fixed deposits. Then the current account. These current accounts are maintained by the businessman, and we can say they have to be doing the various transaction at the one day. So at that time they have to maintain this type of current deposit accounts, and there are not given bank cannot given any interest rate to this account. So there are the 0% interest rate on this current accounts. So this account is mainly maintained by the business community and the facilitate the frequent transaction with the big amount. Within the one day they have to be require the higher transactions, and that's why they have to maintain the current account deposits rate. Then after, third account is a saving account, and some of you have to maintain the saving account in the different banks, right? So it's a kind of demand deposit, while it's generally is kept by the people for the sake of safety. So they have to maintain the saving account with the different banks like SBI, SBI, then after ICICI, then after Kotak. Okay, so there are the various type of banks are available. So generally there are the 4% given, bank have to given 4% rate, interest rate on this saving account. But some banks like Kotak Bank have to given a 6% interest rate on the saving account. So different bank have to given a different rate of interest on the saving account. Okay. Then after, recurring cash deposit. In the case of the recurring deposit is a fix in the deposit in the bank every month or fixed period of time. So recurring account is also considered as the RD account. So you should keep, we can say maintain, and you should deposit monthly installment in the bank. Okay, so it's a considered as a recurring deposit. It may be monthly, it may be daily. So according to your accounting terms and condition, this type of recurring deposits are contained. Then after, uh, second function after the deposit, second function is a lending loan. So in which manner they have to be given the loan. So first one is a call loan. Call loan means what? These loans are called back to any time. Normally these loans are taken by the bill brokers and the stock brokers. So it's called the call loan. Means what? Bill broker and the stock broker, there are the two words are here, you should learn about this. So sometimes some businessmen and some parties have to doing the transaction over the countries, and we can say out of the countries. At that time they can doing the credit, we can say, transaction. So if they have to be a necessary the amount of before the maturity, like there are the, here I give you a one example, that A person and the B person. So A person given the, we can say that A person sells the particular goods to the B person, and B person is a given the amount, right, to A person. But B have to purchase the, we can say, credit, purchase on the credit basis the goods. At that time they have to issue the T bills, right, T bills. So this bills means what? Bill means there are the one type of, we can say, certificate or one type of document that they have to issue to A, that I should pay my amount after the 1 month or after the 2 month. But if A have to require the amount before the maturity, then A should be go to the bank, and then after bank can give the money to the A. So this type of call loans. Okay, whenever they have to necessary, they can call the bank and they can easily get the amount. Then second one is a short term loan. So these are sanctioned for the particular period up to the 1 year. So less than 1 year, or we can say within the area of the 1 year, what are the loan this issued by the by the bank are considered as a short term loan. Then medium term loans. These are the sanction for the period of varying from 1 to 5 years. So it's considered as the medium term loan. Then after, long-term loans. So these loans are sanctioned for the 5 years, includes the overdraft. Overdraft means what? Sometime you should listen that overdraft facility, and this type of facility should be given by the bank to the particular, we can say, particular businessman and particular, we can say, institutions, because they have to be maintained regularly accounting deposit amount. So that's why they have to be facilitate given by the bank. So the overdraft means what? The bank is a grant overdraft facility to its reliable and the respectable depositor. This overdraft facility cannot provide it to all our depositor. This facility is always given by the bank for the reliable and the respectable depositor. And this facility means what? Overdraft means, we can say, consider if you cannot have the particular amount or cash balance in your saving account, and if you have to given the higher amount which are available in your bank balance, and you have to given the higher amount at that time, this facility for the higher amount payment is given by the bank to you. So this facility is called the overdraft, and you should repay this amount within the 45 days. So it's considered as the overdraft facility, and this facility is given to only and only reliable and the respectable depositors. Second one is a cash credit. Under this facility, bank allowed to borrower to withdraw cash against a certain security, like your ATM cards are all are considered as your cash credit. That what are the balance available in your we can say bank account, you can withdraw from the any bank. Then third one is a bills of exchange. The bank is provide the fund to the customer by the purchasing and discounting bill of exchange. Okay, so here bill of exchange is considered for the long run. So whenever customers are doing a purchasing and selling activity on the credit basis, and if they have to be require the money at that time, bills of exchange is considered by the bank. After the primary function, second function is a secondary function. Apart from the main function, the bank also provided the financial services to the corporate sector, business and the society. So they are allow. First one is a merchant banking. So merchant banking is an organization which underwrites the security for the company and advise in the various activity. Merchant banking means what? Sometimes you hear about the IPO, right? IPO means what? Initial public offer. Whenever any company started, at the starting time they have to issue the security and the shares at the stock exchange. At that time they have to be required the 90% subscription. Like take the example that if they have to be a issue 1 lakh rupees, we can say they if they have to issue the 1 lakh rupees security and shares in the market, and if they cannot any depositor cannot purchase a 90,000 amount for the security, then they cannot start their business. So whenever any company have to start their business, at that time they have to be a fear that our subscription is a minimum subscription is a 90%, which will be achieved or not. So that's we can say is a critical situation for the company. If the subscription is not considered as a proper, we can say, portion, then they cannot start their business. At that time, merchant banking means bank provide the security to them. If their 90% subscription cannot achieve, then they have to be a purchase their securities. So that's why it's called the merchant banking, and one type of securities is called the underwriting. So it's called the underwriting. If they have to be given the security, it's called the underwriter. Okay. Then second one is a leasing. Bank have to start funding the fixed asset through the leasing. So it refers the renting out the immovable property by the bank to the businessman. So it's called the leasing. Leasing means a one type of contract between the bank and the businessman, that they businessman can use the particular property, fixed property, for the particular time, and they have to be a decide the rent. We can say rent should be decide, we can say, very starting year of the leasing period, and it can be not changed without the permission of both businessman and the bank. Okay, so it's called the leasing, and it's a very we can say important for the businessman. Whenever they have to use a particular property, at that time they should given the fixed rent, and they can enjoy and they can use their property very easily. Then the mutual fund nowadays is very, we can say, you can heard a very advertisement regarding the IDBS mutual fund, SBI mutual fund, HDFC mutual fund. So there are various type of mutual funds are available, and this facility is also provided by the bank. So the main function of the mutual fund is to be a mobilized saving from the general public to investment from the stock market. So it's called the money market. So mutual fund means what? Mutual fund means bank can invest the money in the different sector, like if you invest 1 lakh rupees in the mutual fund, then they have to be a divide your money in the different parts, like 25,000 invested in the share, 25,000 rupees invested in debentures, and the remaining 50,000 is invested into the any company's IPO. Okay, so this all are considered in the mutual fund. So it's all about the market risk, so you should learn it very carefully and then you should invest it. Then after venture capital is the financial capital is provided to the early stage. So high potential, high risk growth startup companies should doing this type of venture capital. Venture capital fund is makes some money by owing equities and the companies it's invest in. So which usually have to be a novel technology for the business. Is venture capital is a one type of, we can say, consider as a finance, is provided at the early started stage. If any company have to start a new startup, at that time there are the high requirement and the high risk for the company, and then this time bank provided the capital to them, it's called the venture capital. Then after ATM, you know about this, right? Automatic teller machine. And ATM is also known as a cash point. The banks nowadays provide the ATM facility and customer can withdraw the money easily and quickly 24 hours a day, anywhere, right? Then after telebanking is throwback to the days when the people would be called into the central number and then the bank financial institution in order to get the balance. And nowadays there are the various types of apps are available, like Union Banks, then after SBI's Yono application, right? There you cannot call any bank sector and any banking branch. You can easily get your accounting detail from your bank, from your Yono bank application, we can say easily you can find your cash balance, your transactions, right? Then after credit cards. The credit cards are allowed to person to buy a goods and services up to a certain limit without immediate payment. So it's called the credit cards. So the amount in is paid to the shop, hotel, etc. by the commercial banks. So it's called the credit cards. You cannot pay the immediate amount. You can purchase after the some we can say limit. You can purchasing it. There are the 50,000 and 45,000. There are different cards have the different limits, and according to that you can purchasing and doing the your transactions. Then after locker services. So under these services, locker are provided to the public in the various size in the payment for the fixed rent. Like there are the various types of lockers are available in the different banks. So you can go through and you can inquire about this, which size of locker you have to require, and according to that you should pay the fixed rent on that, right? Then after underwriting, there are the underwriting I discussed in the last slide, so it's very easy. This fixed facility is provided to the joint stock companies and the government. The bank is guaranteed to purchase a certain portion to sell if not sold in the market. Okay, so it's one type of underwriter, means it's given the assurity to company if their shares are not sold in the market, then they can purchase. So their business, we can say company can, we can say without fear they can start their business. Then after BCSBI means the banking code standard, there are the Board of India, it's the independent banking industry, is all over watching watchdog type and protect the consumers banking services. So they have to be doing the watchdog activity. They always are doing the control over all over the marketing conditions of the bank. Okay. So thank you very much. Here our second part regarding the unit number 5 banking completed. So if you have any query regarding the banking and any topic regarding now from other topics, you can also ask me. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video, and after watching this video you should learn from your books so you can easily remember this. Okay, thank you.